Hi, welcome to Week 5 Discussion Question 2. Another great topic to discuss today on organizational structure and types of authority within an organization. Many of you probably, and I think for most Americans the experience is pretty similar, that we work in organizations in which are very pyramidal in structure, in which authority radiates from the top down. And again, historically, during the manufacturing production era of American business, that probably worked relatively well. That strategically, especially when in a production capacity where it's very easy to measure, it's very easy to see what needs done, how many are produced, et cetera, defect rates are easy to measure, et cetera. That probably worked really well. And we've talked about this a little bit already in the course, that management excuse me, an organizational culture really has changed as we've moved into a service technology based economic system here in the United States. And so how do we get a structure, a corporate structure, an organizational structure, a management structure to evolve to a point where it's now much more compatible with business in which innovation, technology, service are the hallmarks of many effective organizations today? Does the typical pyramid structure really provide what is necessary for a business to achieve its goals and succeed in today's society? And that really is, I think, one of the focuses of the discussion this week. And we can talk about different organizational structures, how authority is distributed. I think one of the great challenges for managers is when you give up authority and you empower employees, and we talk a lot about employee empowerment as a motivational tool. We're probably going to talk about that a little bit more in coming weeks. To empower an employee means, as a manager, you almost have to be willing to trust the employees so much so that you are willing to give up authority. And that's very challenging for a lot of managers. Because in doing so, in giving up authority, you probably are to some degree giving up things that you are measured and evaluated by your supervisors. And a lot of people, and it's an interesting dynamic, and I was having a discussion in a classroom setting quite recently about changes in trust over the past couple decades in American business. Do managers trust employees as much as they used to? My hunch is no, and I think that has a lot to do with the more temporary nature of employees these days. My father worked for the railroad, for example, for 47 years. And because he had worked so long, and the assumption was, in the old days, the paternalistic days of business, which was probably true up until very recently among Japanese businesses, is that if you were going to stay with the company forever, and so your success as an employee is tied to the company's success, managers tended to trust you, I think, more because they knew that you probably cared overall a lot more about the overall success of the company. I don't know that that's necessarily true today, that I think there is a tremendous, not tremendous, but certainly a greater degree of distrust between managers and employees, because I think a lot of employees view their association with an organization as a temporary thing. Statistically, you're likely to go through numerous companies in your professional career these days. So certainly your level of commitment to the company is probably less. And managers are much more reluctant to trust you because of that. And maybe those are some things we can talk about today, this week as well in our discussion. Looking forward to it.